Aha! I did it. Yeah. Give me a second. I just figured out how to do the share screen thing. Yeah, how's everybody doing? On my end, it looks like the screen is frozen, but let me know if you can see and hear me okay on your end. Yeah, I'm glad you're here to talk about it. Yeah. So we are going to discuss the elephant in the room. Again, let me know if you can see and hear me okay. I think because I'm doing the screen share, while the live stream is freezing on my end. The YouTuber is doing it, so I figured why not? Just add a little flair to the video. You can see and hear me? Okay. All right. Well, first of all, hope everybody is doing well. That's the first thing. Secondly, I don't let me just put this disclaimer out here. This video is not about promoting the guilt or innocent of anyone, because aside from not knowing either of the roles, whether it be Mr. Perry or Mr. Dixon, none of us were there. That's something I really want to get up front. Like, this video isn't me condemning Perry for doing something so awful, or shaming Dixon for making these allegations. I don't know. As a content creator, I felt like this was a kind of video to do, mainly because of the fact that since the majority of my content is Tyler Perry content, I figure, why not do this video and kind of give my thoughts on not necessarily the allegations, but what this could mean for Tyler Perry moving forward. And yes, I'm looking at your chats here, and I read over the TMZ article. I looked at several other people do videos about it, just because, I was at the church. We had our second night of our 3-night revival, and I saw the story trending about 30 minutes before I headed out the door. Got back home a little after 9 o'clock, and I figured, yeah, while I'm over there, getting the word, I'm pretty sure more evidence is going to come forward, and people will do videos breaking it down. And I did see a lot of things in terms of statements and text messages and whatnot. So something to take into consideration. But overall, yeah, that was my first thing. I'm like, yeah, I don't think Dale's coming back. Now, ironically enough, last night, several people asked me, hey, do you know when the Oval's coming back? And I said, well, given the fact that Tyler Perry content is kind of in an overabundance right now, I think we're doing things in a way where we are kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Spreading it out. We have a hiatus period now. Like, Sisters is coming back, but it's a couple months off. And when it comes to his other shows, I'm like, okay, this is great, because we're getting a movie here, we're getting a BET Plus show here, we're getting a show on BET here. Stuff is going to be spread out like it was pre-pandemic and pre-writer actor strike. Now, the Oval, I estimated, okay, the Oval is probably coming back late September, maybe October. Sisters is going to have season 9A, and then we'll get the Oval coming back with new episodes this fall. But I would not be surprised if the Oval gets shelved, either due to the lawsuit, or if Tyler is like, you know what, I'm just going to go back. We're going to edit out Dale out of everything, probably even film new content, erasing Dale from the equation, because yeah, that's I don't think Dale's coming back. But I did read the text, and it's some wild stuff, man. I will say that. But like I said, these are just allegations. I don't know if these texts are real. I just know that it's trending and everybody's talking about it. Yes, the Dale is still alive in the Oval. This article stated that they had already filmed the final season of the Oval, but I don't really believe that, because when it says final season, that could mean it was the final season for Dale as a character. But I believe Tyler Perry's attorney, Matthew Boyd, he has made a statement that this is just a shakedown. These allegations are a scam, and Tyler will not be, a victim of this. These fabricated claims of harassment will fail. So we'll have to wait and see. Oh, yeah, I see some familiar faces in here. Yeah, I know it's been a while since I did a live stream. It's been a while. Don't worry. I'm catching up on your chats right now. Salutations, Faithus. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, a lot of people are comparing this to the Christian Keys thing from, like, what was that, like late 2023? I believe it was late 2023 when he did his videos and he made claims of, he didn't name drop anybody. A lot of people assumed it was Tyler Perry about having, like, what was it, pins or something that had a recorder on them. And I don't know. But a lot of people are comparing Dixon's allegations to what Keys was saying happened to him. But this brings up an interesting question, though. We know from, recent times that people of notoriety, once they are hit with allegations, once they become a trending topic, that could possibly lead to, well, certain things being cut off. Like, we just had he just dropped Straw, divorced sisters within the past week. But what's going to happen next? What about Netflix and the Medea film dropping in less than a month? Less than a month. And then Sister Season 9A, So there are a lot of questions like, do you think this could possibly put a halt to anything Tyler Perry related for the near future, like Prime Video, Netflix? Viacom is in a tricky situation because I feel like this is giving Jonathan Major vibes in terms of a company putting the future of their brand on one person. With Marvel, it was Kang and He Who Remains, and we're going to have Kang Dynasty and whatnot. But then when the allegations came out, that literally put a halt to everything Jonathan Major related or Kang related. But with Tyler Perry, think about it. Typically in situations like this, a network will be like, okay, if the story gets too big, they'll be like, okay, we're going to pull the plug on what's going to happen, like with your future content. But BET, when 98% of your content is Tyler Perry affiliated, what exactly do you do in that situation? So far, what he showed in the messages, it was nothing. Yeah, it sounded like very suggestive. But Tech Bay, the articles state that Dixon claims there were some physical encounters. Let me see here. What was this? According to June 2021, Tyler's Atlanta home, Derek says he was staying in the guest room wearing only his boxers. He says Tyler came in to give him a goodnight hug. He alleges that Perry yanked them down, groped his behind, and said, relax and just let it happen, and assured him it wasn't going to hurt. He rebuffed the advance by changing the subject. So Yeah, I don't know how that could be proven, but I don't know because on Twitter right now, all I'm seeing is the Christian Keys thing where he talked about a similar situation about like um being at like a party and being kind of tipsy, and the owner of the home offered to like, hey, just go to a guest room and kind of sleep it off, and then he got in bed with him or whatever. Again, it was never confirmed to be Perry, but he said, he states the billionaire did that. Yeah, that's another thing people are saying, that typically in situations like this, when people come forward with allegations, it's usually due to the person who was kind of like, their bread and butter cuts them off from one way or another. People are saying like, oh, I bet it's because Dale got killed off, or maybe Tyler said he was going to do a project with him, but then it got canceled, or he decided to do something else. I don't know. I don't know. Oh yeah, that's right, Beauty and Black, because they already filmed season 2. And that's the thing though, because Tyler probably has like 20 different projects, right now already done. I'm talking like future seasons of his current shows, new shows we don't even know about, new movies. Yeah, but these incidents they get wild. Hang on a sec. There was something I did see I wanted to point out. I don't think it's in this article, but there was another TM. There are like 3 TMZ articles right now, and one of them talked about how like Dale was shot like what 4 times in the chest in the season finale, and he claims that in order to keep Dale alive, you have to keep me happy, and it's kind of like, ooh, that's very damning. Some people just want money. When was the Oval set? Tech Bay. The Oval was never. It was never um confirmed for a date, but my guess was like maybe September or October. I know Tyler personally, and that's not even his personality. Well, Deborah, that's great that you know Mr. Perry in person, and thanks for coming up on here to tell your thoughts on it. They won't X him out. He makes too much money. It's only allegations. Um, you're not. It is kind of, it's sad to say, but you're not 100% wrong. And what by that I mean, like, money usually overrides justice. And as I said before, I do not know what's fact. I do not know what's fiction. But it is kind of a sad situation that in some cases, when an individual has enough power, or more specifically, when they generate enough money, even if they did do wrong, they're able to just, kind of walk right past it. But I just hope that the truth, whatever it is brought to light. So, but then again, some people are just ready to pounce, because here's my thing: aside from the whole situation, what this means for the future of his shows and movies, they're kind of, on tap to come out soon. From the P. Diddy's, the Harvey Weinsteins, the Bill Cosby and whatnot, when one person comes forward, do you think this is going to be the beginning? People coming out with allegations, more people with texts, more people with possible recordings and whatnot. I feel like that could possibly change some people's minds about this particular story. But yeah, so they met back in 2019. TP picked him out of the crowd and had a role for him. And if you didn't know, Derek played Dale in Ruthless first, and then he got brought over to the Oval. And then it goes into like detailed, physical encounters, allegedly. I believe there were also claims of a show called Losing It, something that Dixon, like wrote or something, and Tyler was going to produce it. Yeah. But I'm not going through the text messages. Let me just put it this way. There is a full like 18 photo gallery to go through if you want to doing that. So is this about the news from the actor on the Oval? Yes. He got too much going on to me. He needs to. Money has nothing to do with it. Look at Diddy. You're not wrong. You got people who are multi-millionaires, if not billionaires, dealing with stuff. I mean, think about it this way. Jay-Z got hit with those allegations around the holidays, and then it turned out to be a Jane Doe whose story was. So that's why I said at the jump, this isn't about, me claiming guilt or innocence, because I don't know jack. All I know is it's a trending topic. I just want to come up here real quick and kind of, talk about what this could mean about the future of the shows and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure as this month goes on, maybe something will come out because, the truth, if you will. A lot of people think that these text messages are fake. We live in 2025. And that's another thing. And I don't want to fall into the category of victim shaming, but I've had several conversations with fans tonight about, hey, like, if this was happening over the course of the past, like what, 3 to 5 years, give or take, like, why was Dixon still working with Perry? And that's one of those things where consent versus non-consent. Did you stick around? And again, this isn't about victim shaming. This is just looking at the potential circumstances, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to these alleged casting couches and whatnot, how many people, were forced upon versus being told, if you do this to me, or if you let me do this to you, I'll get you that role, or I'll put you in one of my movies, or hey, send me a script, I can produce it for you. Because if this kind of inappropriate behavior, because Dixon is charging for a whole lot of stuff like physical assault and, inappropriate conduct, and of course, like stress, emotional, and this kind of stuff. If this has been going on for years or spread out over the course of an extended period of time, why keep going back? Because that's why people are calling it a shakedown, because it's probably a money thing. That's probably, why he says this was like back in 2020, like when he went over to the house. But a lot of people are also bringing up the timing of it. Why now? Why now? Because think about it this way. Shannon Sharp got hit with his allegations probably a couple months ago. But you know how the media news cycle is now today, where everything is just so fast. Like, we're talking second, we could be on another story or news outlet. I mean, heck, go back like 2 or 3 weeks. It was all about Cassie and Diddy. And I don't want to sit up here like a conspiracy theorist, but some people are like, well, yeah, Tyler just dropped straw and he got up and spoke at the BET Awards. And then at this other show, and I did a video on this one about how he talked about how he's made more black millionaires than Hollywood and Los Angeles and this, that, and the third. So I don't know. But Eric Brown, that is another point several people and myself talked about in terms of allegations, whether it be an R. Kelly or whoever it is. Oh, yeah. Smokey Robbins. No. It was Smokey and his wife that got charged with allegations. Typically in stories like this, it's usually one or more people who say, hey, such and such helped me make money. But once the money stopped coming in, that's when I decided to speak up. So yeah, that's what some people are saying. Like, it's some sort of like shakedown where, oh, well, he got cut from the show, or maybe Tyler didn't, help create the series that he said he would. And hey, I did X, Y, and Z like he asked me to, and now I'm going to, I don't know, but I don't know. Like I said, I just hope the truth, whatever it is brought out, so we can kind of move past this. And like I said, I don't know these individuals on a personal level. I've never met them. I've never been to Tyler Perry Studios, so I can't speak on Tyler and his character because I don't know him on a personal level. Never been in touch with him at all. I'm just a guy who reviews the content. And okay, I've already went over this stuff, and let me get out of this photo here. Dang ads. Trying to get this. Okay, there we go. Get that. Appropriate ads off the screen. Let me read these tweets. Some people will sell their soul. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. People will sell their souls for a quick buck. And I get it. Times are tough, but you got people like Maya, and just she's one of a number of individuals. Like when you see them do an interview, the person conducting the interview be like, "Could have been a much bigger artist than you are now," or as a comedian, your career should have taken off. More often than not, those underrated individuals, let me just say, the underrated underdogs in the industry, music, acting, comedy, they're usually underrated because they all say the same story. When given the opportunity to advance my career, I opted not to sell soul. Sure, I could be millions. I could have millions more in the bank than I have right now, but I wasn't willing to get on my knees or lay in bed with somebody, or I didn't go to this person's office or hotel room at 2 a.m. in the morning. And as a result, someone, well, as you would say, less qualified or less talented was able to climb the ranks. But at the end of the day, I didn't sell my soul. I can walk around with my head held high, knowing that I didn't have to get on my knees to get to where I want to go. So, yeah. And like I said, not shaming Dixon because I don't know the truth, but these are the stories people tell all the time. Hollywood, Atlanta, wherever it is. Wherever it is. What's done in the dark will come to the light. Exactly. Yeah. That's why I just said about 10 minutes ago. We got to wait and see if anyone else follows suit, because typically where there's smoke, there's fire. When one person comes forward, allegate, I'm going to be real with you. I'm not trying to, put negativity out there. But what's today? Tuesday, right? I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if by Friday of this week, which is the 20th this week, I would not be surprised if like 2 to 4 more people just come out with allegations, because that's how it works. We've seen this countless times over the past like near decade. When one person comes forward, a bunch more come. Now, will they have quote unquote evidence? I don't know. What if he was hired to take Tyler down? That people are kind of linking this to Shannon Sharpe, because he had just done the interview with Damon Wayans, and people said the conversation got too real between two black individuals. Damon Wayans, Papa's House got canceled right after that interview. Shannon Sharpe, he got hit with allegations right after that interview. And now they're saying the same thing with Tyler. Like Straw, while I think it's one of Tyler's best movies, I think it is low key one of his most controversial, because the number of people who have been, giving their thoughts on it's just crazy. But it's still doing numbers, but it's just one of those things where, I don't know. How do you take billionaire Tyler owns all the show? That is a very good question. And I hope nothing happens where Viacom and Netflix and Prime drop him. But I would not be surprised if he did come out with his own platform, it would still do well, because this is Tyler Perry. And I think that in terms of the fan base, more people believe he's innocent than guilty, because the people dragging him are saying, "Oh, we already knew." These are people who always clown on his content anyway. So, and I'm talking about the fans who I recognize, even if we don't always agree on stuff like Zatima or Sisters. I see the majority, supporting him, but I just know, like, for me, I don't know, because I don't know. Sorry, that's my clothes in the dryer. Do you think TP will just settle this out of court to make this go away, much like who you're talking about, Michael Jackson? I'm going to be real. I don't think he will. And like I said, this is just speculation. Think about it this way. Michael said that he only did the settlement because his lawyer said it's the quickest way to make it go away. But he regretted that for the rest of his life, because had he fought the charges, there might have been a chance that less people would have come forward with allegations, because he settled out of court. More people came out of the woodworks trying to get lottery level settlements. So I'm going to be real. I don't think he'll settle this out of court, but he might do what Jay-Z did and count. If this stuff is not true, he might countersue for defamation of character. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we don't know the truth. We don't know the truth, because you think about how Diddy, when Cassie, what was it, wanted like 25 or 30 million, and Diddy said, "Oh, these guys," and then less than 24 hours later he settled, and it's like, ooh, yeah, he wouldn't have settled if it wasn't true. And I'm talking like pre-trial Diddy. People do anything for money. Sad but true. Sad but true. That's something I mentioned earlier as well. Like, if these things were happening over the course of multiple years, why the hell would you go back and work? Yeah, Deborah Ann, men, women, whoever, typically when somebody, you know, gets scorned or rejected, they go for the jugular. They go for where it hurts, the wallet. It's true. It's hard to know what to believe. I mean, yeah, you're right. You look at the social media age we live in, AI and all that stuff. You don't know what's real. I mean, it's getting more difficult to tell what's real and what's not. What's real and what's not. But like I said several times already, I just hope the truth comes out. And that's another thing. Like, hypothetically speaking, if Dixon's allegations are true, would this impact your support of Tyler Perry content? Agreed. The messages seem somewhat consenting but inappropriate as far as a boss and employee. Yeah, the messages don't prove harassment. He would have to figure out a way to prove that the physical harassment happened, because he made his claims, but I mean, he has to prove it. People would not be working for him either, especially the same people. Exactly. But to be somewhat, devil's advocate, how many times have we, seen stories of individuals where it turns out they were an abuser or something like that, and you have people in their circle like, he was never like that with me. That person that's being carried away in handcuffs, what he was accused of and proven guilty of in court, that's not the person I knew. So I don't know. Yeah, those tests could be AI. And this isn't us like grasping at straws like, no, our Mr. Perry's innocent. Like, we're telling the truth. It could be AI. Anything. They could be true. My question is, how exactly do you prove they're not? That's my question. Dixon's smart, unlike his dull character. Damn. Yeah. I mean, the fact that he has the text shows that, in some cases, some people like build their evidence. It's like, yeah, if he doesn't give me this show, I'm going to put him on blast. Saw this story earlier, instantly thought of Christian Keys and what he said. Yeah, a lot of people are making the comparison because the stories seem similar. What is it? It's 11 p.m. To my knowledge, Tyler himself has not spoken out, but his attorney, let me go back down here. Matthew Boyd said, this is an individual who got close to Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam. But Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these claims of harassment will fail. So I know they're putting their thinking caps on, trying to figure out how to disprove these claims. But like I said, I just hope that the truth gets brought to the surface sooner than later, and we can move on past this. Yeah, I agree. If I didn't do anything, I'm not going to pay no one. It makes you look guilty. I'm going to stand in my truth, forget about what them lawyers saying. I'm not doing it. Yeah, especially when you have the financial means. If you have the finances and the resources to fight it, you better do it. Because if you do a settlement and you're not guilty, then watch, way more people will come out of the woodworks trying to make claims. So it's better to fight one battle and win than to give up and then have to fight like 8+ more battles. So I don't know. But sheesh. But this sucks. This definitely deflates the momentum of Tyler. You have like Straw, Divorced Sisters is off to a good start, and I'm like, yeah, that's going to carry us until Sisters next month. Yeah, BET Viacom in general needs them. I don't think he would put his company in jeopardy like that. I see what you're saying, Montel, but you got to think about how many people of power do stupid stuff. They will put their marriage, their family, their reputation on the line just for a booty call or something. Hypothetically, if these claims come out to be false, I want everybody to apologize. Marlon, while I agree wholeheartedly, you know good and well ain't nobody going to apologize. People wait for the opportunity to just pounce on someone they don't like. If you wonder if the allegations are true, money talks. Huh? Can you explain that? Yeah, money does talk. If you wonder if the allegations are true. I don't even know unless you know him, unless you know either one of these individuals personally, you can't help but wonder because well, heck, even if you do know Perry, if you do know Dixon, you don't know. I feel like Dixon holds a press conference if the lawyer makes a public statement, it will bring more credibility. That is something not many people do. I'm actually shocked that he would put his name to this. Because it's not uncommon for this is why celebrities have like what do you call it, retainers. They have lawyers on a retainer because I think Will Smith or somebody said like, yeah, I got like a couple of lawyers on standby because while I'm out doing a movie or when I'm out touring, there are lawsuits left and right. So a hit dog will holla. If he's innocent, he won't do a public show to prove that he is. He'll make it a silent battle. Oh, you're talking about Tyler. Everyone has something to say. That's the problem. Yeah. Well, hey, everybody. Phone, microphone, tweets. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has a voice. How did they come up with $260 million? Who you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton? Oh, dang, it's already 11 o'clock. Yeah, this is some wild stuff. He's suing for $260 million. That is not a joke. Now, so yeah, this now it says 400 million. Now it's 60 million. Well, first of all, I know when it comes to sisters, think about it. When Sisters comes out next season, I can do live streams like this, and then I can actually have the trailer on my screen. Well, first of all, happy birthday. Sorry you have to deal with this on your birthday. Do you think BT is going to make a statement? Probably not right away. I feel like in these cases, they usually kind of hold their card information comes out. Yeah, Eric, that's the thing. People are like, and this isn't just restricted to Dixon. If these allegations are true, why do actors or singers, whoever, if a person is taking advantage of you, why do you continue to work with that person? Because you need the money. You want the money. But this happened when somebody gets cut off. Yeah, you go on Twitter. I felt bad for laughing, but the fact that Medea goes to jail was trending. I couldn't help myself, and all I'm seeing are clips from that Boondock episode. Yeah, Tyler has a team of lawyers. Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bro, it ain't just Tyrese. I mean, Tyler got so much stuff. Like, what about the Medea destination wedding? What about that? Taylor, you are absolutely right. This is not the first time. This is not the first time. Spring type. Yeah. See, it's touchy subject. It really is, because we don't know what the truth is. And to actually come forward with these allegations, did did he tell Tyler about this beforehand? Like, what made him go, I'm going to do it now? You unleash the hounds without giving the other side a chance to counter. So I don't know. Low key, and I'm not trying to be funny here, Dixon did what the people in the Oval should do when they have all this evidence against the Franklin administration. Do a press conference, put it online. Don't tell the person what you're doing before you do it, because they'll kill you off first. I'm just wondering why it's always men, not women with allegations. I don't know. Whew. Well, yeah, this is not what I expected this week. I know some people are already like, oh, I bet Monique and Cat Williams going to have a field day with this one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but is Shannon Sharp still doing this podcast? Because some people are like, Tyler just going to keep it moving. He'll handle this in private, but he'll just keep moving with his shows and whatnot. Dang, yeah. Sorry, Beyond the Gates fans. I was supposed to do tonight, but this preoccupied me. Yeah. I mentioned that before. Typically, the person, depending on one person for a source of income, once that money cuts, they're gonna allegations. If Tyler sells, if he's asked to sell off his shows, and these allegations are true, who will take them? Who will take them? You know what? That's sometimes because more often than not, some of these attorneys just want to make a name for themselves. Like, they want their names attached to a big celebrity case, and if they win, that'll do wonders for their reputation. Do you think he is done after this? I wouldn't say done. We just got to see it. We got to see how this plays out. That's the best thing I could say right now. You're not wrong. Yep, I said that earlier too. I mean, 1 minute you're a trending topic for maybe a week at worst, but then the next thing you know, boom. Just like Jay-Z's lawyers do not play. Yeah, they don't play. We'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. But yeah, that's really all I had to say. Get up here and just give my quick thoughts on it. Like I said, hopefully this is handled quickly. We'll see what happens. See what happens. Something does tell me though, if he really is innocent, I don't think this will be settled silently. I feel like if it were me and I'm speaking, and this is a person who's not famous, who doesn't have a team of lawyers and whatnot, if I were innocent, oh, I'd countersue. I'd have it posted everywhere. Like, hey, you're not going to drag my name through the mud for some fake stuff. Yeah, that's why I said earlier, if it's fake, sue for defamation. But who knows? All right, folks. Well, it's late. I figured most of y'all got to go to sleep for either, I don't know, summer school or work or whatever. I was getting my sleeping pattern back on track here. I'm probably going to stay up for a little bit, go to sleep. Tomorrow's the last night of revival, and then I can get some work done. So, as always, thanks so much for tuning in. Hate that we had to come together for such a downer topic, but it is what it is. And oh yeah. If any more news comes out, I might do another live so we can talk about this further. But for now, thanks for tuning in. Like I said, this isn't about judgment. We don't know the truth. We don't know if these allegations are real or not. We don't know if one side is guilty, the other one's innocent. All I know is what's going on in terms of what's been revealed. So have a great night, y'all.